Go ahead. Yeah.
There was a little tiff amongst our community recently.
About what?
I saw some.
Our community tiff? No, never. What about? What about?
No, I think that I have to say, guys, like it is on the forums and on the
Discord?
the Discord and everything across the board, guys. I think we have such a healthy community. I love it, and even the little back and forth between the videos that I saw this week. I mean, the way you guys handled that was just so professional and awesome. You know,
100%.
like. I'd like to. I really appreciate that, and I honestly appreciate the honesty across the board.
So I'm going to try to make this brief. If you don't want to hear it, then go ahead and jump straight to the timestamp on your screen and enjoy. And I did say I wasn't going to make another video on this topic, but with Midnight responding and Hugo acknowledging it on stream, I think it'd be immature to not speak up. Bottom line is, there's no bad blood between anyone. As far as I'm concerned, nothing but newfound respect for Midnight. After his video went up, he joined the Discord. He spammed some of our emotes, which out of context looks like we bully him more. So that was a interesting explanation period, but after that he joined the voice chat. We talked for a couple hours and we're all good. The only thing is, when QuakeCon rolls around, we gotta go to a bar together, get drunk, and brawl it out in the parking lot, but we'll get to that bridge in due time. Oh, and by the way, it is Cynic the original.
We have certainly Cynic the original. Is it Cynic the original? Am I saying that right? Yes,
God.
I believe it.
Now I'm double checking it. Hold on.
Cynic, I have to tell you, buddy.
I love Cynic.
When I first saw your videos, I'm like, I don't think he likes us, but I think you do like him. So.
You're making me blush. I don't know where you would get the impression that I don't like you guys. I don't know, maybe they've seen the IGN videos thinking that was legit criticism. Imagine. But anyways, another weekly stream down by Hugo Martin, and with it some new information and some things we can expect come DLC 2. Unfortunately, still no trailers, still no information on new master levels or anything like that, but from what it sounds like, there's a lot of other things that they are gonna be introducing with DLC 2 that makes me extremely hopeful for even content beyond just the year 1 pass. But so far, what is confirmed is a new weapon, and from what it sounds like, a new range of features added to the HUD. Right now with the current HUD, you have to look down towards the bottom left and right hand corners of your screen to manage your resources, see where your health, armor, and ammunition and everything else is at. From what it sounds like with these new HUD features, you're going to be able to put things like your chainsaw pips, flame belch, grenade, blood punch, all that stuff with the exception of your health and armor right around your reticle, your crosshairs, so that way you never have to take your eyes off the center of the screen. Hugo constantly refers to the HUD in the game as the race car helmet, and it seems like with this new concept for the new HUD features, he's really trying to drive that point home, to really keep you in your tunnel vision of constantly ripping and tearing, and I'm all for it. The only thing is, I'm just saddened that that wasn't something they weren't able to implement when the game launched, but I'm looking forward to it. The other thing I wanted to bring up was something about console players. Now currently in the game, there's something called aim snapping, which, if I'm not mistaken, is also on PC. In short, this is aim assist in the game where, let's say if you're using your combat shotgun with sticky bombs and your reticle or your crosshairs is close enough to the demon that you want to hit, in this case, let's say a revenant. Currently with aim snapping, it'll just lock onto the revenant's head, potentially, or his chest, and not so much the rockets that you could potentially be trying to hit. Well, with the updated version of aim snapping, it should be pushing your reticle to the weak point of that specific demon, whether it be a mancubus, a revenant, or an arachnotron. I think this is a good move. I think it should be helping those that are still in the process of learning of how to move while trying to knock out a demon's weak point, especially for those that are playing on, say, Nightmare or Ultra Nightmare and they're trying to get that Gold Slayer skin. Should be a nice little nudge for them to be a little bit more combat efficient. But I do want to say, while we're on the topic of console players, while I bitterly accept the reality that mouse and keyboard support will probably never come to console, allow me to propose an alternative. Right now in the game, there's an option called menu confirmation, which the lower that it is, basically means that when you go to select things like your sentinel crystals, or if you're playing battle mode and you go to choose your perks for that round, it goes from holding down the button to just pressing it one time. I would like to see menu confirmation affect the responsiveness of the weapon wheel. That way, for us on console, we still have to interact with the weapon wheel, but the chances of us dying because we accidentally picked the wrong weapon or struggling to reopen your weapon wheel gets you killed in the heat of the moment, I think would be a nice alternative. I don't know exactly how well that would even work, but I remember this being something that kind of baffled me at launch, and hearing new HUD options and aim snapping being readjusted, I would like to see that affect console players. So that way we're at least a little closer to faster weapon swapping, and we have a better chance with the Ancient Gods 2 DLC. The other thing I wanted to share was, this isn't set in stone, but I think it's still worth mentioning. Hugo was talking about throwing around the idea of nerfing the accuracy of the arachnotrons turret on lower difficulties. He said that this is something that he's been thinking about, so that way on the lower settings, players that don't want to play on Nightmare or Ultraviolence still have the ability to get into that fun zone, and affecting things like the accuracy of the arachnotrons turret, so that way lower skilled players still get that adrenaline rush of being in the fun zone, which, considering Doom Eternal is almost a year old, is surprisingly considerate in a good way. So I'm very interested to see whether if they follow through with that, and if they do, if these tweaks bring any other kind of changes besides just the arachnotron and its accuracy at a distance. But gameplay wise, that's kind of where we stand right now. I expect to hear a little bit more about meat hook platforming with the next stream, which is going to be next Thursday. But to wrap this up, lore wise, we do know the Divinity Machine is going to be returning in DLC 2. It does sound like it's going to have a pretty big role in the overall story of the second DLC, as Hugo was very tight-lipped about what he was able to share. And then he was asked a very interesting question on stream, which I'm going to let play, as well as his response to it, as I feel like if I try to explain the overall thing, I'm just going to butcher it. So let me know what you think of this.
Okay, so question time. Here's a question from chat. This is Ben Langley. Question is this, because we were talking about Warhammer 40k. This is tying into that. The question is this: is Hell its own living entity, or is it an extension of the Dark Lord's power and will? And then, as a side note, they said, "I collect 40k as well, so that's really cool to see. Other than that, thanks for making such a great game."
It's actually a really interesting question, and it's going to be answered in DLC 2 in more depth. But I can say it is an absolute extension of the Dark Lord.
Ooh, I love it. I love it. So we ended up getting some hints out there. I like
Easter
that.
Egg.
Okay.
That might not be. What else is an extension of the Dark Lord's power?
Ooh.
That's the question. I want to see some videos theorized. That's a big hint. And when you watch DLC 2, you're going to know what that means.
So it's been a while since I paid any type of close attention to the lore. I'm not even going to try to speculate on what that means, but let me know what you guys think about all that down in the comments section. Next Thursday, Hugo Martin's going to be tackling the Ark Complex, and I'm going to be in the comments section passionately begging that he commemorates IGN by killing the Marauder with a chain gun. And once that stream ends, I'll be sure to update everyone on some brand new information if we get any at all. Or you can join the Discord. Link to that is always in the pinned comment. Our mods are pretty much right on top of that stuff, so you'll learn stuff as soon as I do. But until next time, I'll see y'all later.